10 things that will boost your math grade. Number 10, keep a positive math attitude. If you have the attitude that math sucks, I hate math, I'm never going to be good at it, then that's a defeatist attitude that puts you in a losing position. It's better instead to have the attitude that math is something that I'm going to have to work at and that there are concrete ways for me to improve. Number 9, avoid skipping steps. When you avoid skipping steps, you make less mistakes and your teacher grades you better. Well, of course, when you make less mistakes, your grades will increase. But why does the teacher grade you better when you don't skip steps? Well, this happens especially at the grade school level. When teachers see that you follow all the steps, your work looks more professional, and it puts the teacher in that feel-good mood. So you want a teacher in a feel-good mood when they're grading your paper. It's not something that they do. I think it's not something that they do. It's a subconscious thing that your teacher does. Number 8, write the equation down before you solve a problem. That's another psychological trick that you can use to memorize equations. Take a look at this equation. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. This is known as the quadratic formula. Many students struggle to try to size this formula, but by writing this formula down every time you do a problem, after you've done 20, 25 problems or more, maybe less, you will have memorized this formula without really trying. Number 7, complete all your assignments. When you complete all your assignments, especially at the grade school level, it has another psychological effect on your teacher, and the teacher sees you more as a serious student and likely to be more lenient when it comes to grading. Number 6, solve problems until you get it, not just the assigned problems. If you're assigned 5, 10 problems for homework and you still don't get it, then you practice until you really understand it. You practice until you can solve one problem completely from start to finish without making any errors. Number 5, fractions. If you're struggling with fractions, a couple of suggestions. Start with the easy fraction. For instance, fractions with a common denominator like 1/4 plus 2/4 equals 3/4. Or say 2/5 minus 1/5 equals 1/5. These problems, just common denominator, you bring your denominator over and you just add or subtract the top. You start with these and then work your way up. When you get really proficient with these, work your way up. And then eventually you will have good mastery over fractions and your grades will reflect that. Number 4, do homework immediately. Whenever you get out of class, try to do your homework as close to that time as you can, or in the first opportunity that you get. If you do your home assignments this way, you're going to retain more of the information from the lecture. If you wait until that night, you might be able to do it the next day. I'm not so sure. You wait all the way until the weekend, you probably won't remember anything. The sooner you do your homework after you get out of class, the more your grades will reflect. So doing your homework immediately will help your grade. Number 3, integers. Integers are high up on the list because they're critical to your math success, and a lot of students struggle with them. Here are a couple of tricks that will help you. If we multiply a positive times a positive, that equals a positive. That's one scenario that we don't have to try to remember. If I multiply 3 times 5, that's 15. There's no way that can be anything but positive. So that one would be one scenario that you don't have to remember. If I multiply a negative times a positive, that equals a negative. If I multiply a negative times a negative, that equals a positive. If I multiply a negative times another negative, that equals a negative. But there's a pattern. Anytime you have an odd number of negatives, then your answer will be negative. Anytime you have an even number of negatives, as in this example, your answer will be positive. It doesn't matter how many positives you have. It's the number of negatives that you have that make a difference. Number 2, simple addition and subtraction. This is very high on the list because simple addition and subtraction, although may not be known to some, is a very important skill. One of the most important skills that you can have to boost your grades. If you're able to do simple addition and subtraction really quickly, then you'll find that you're very strong in math. There are a couple of patterns that I can show you that will help make it easier. Let's look at the 9s, for example. 9 plus 6, 15. 9 plus 23, 32. 9 plus 45, 54. What's the pattern? Well, the pattern is as follows. Now look at 9 plus 45. The second number goes down 1, first number goes up 1. 5 goes to 4, 4 goes to 5. Down 1, up 1. This isn't really a 0, 9, so up 1, down 1. That's the pattern with the 9s. It doesn't always work. There's an occasion when it doesn't work. If I take 41 plus 9, well, actually, that's going to still work. But if I take 40 plus 9, that's going to be 9, 49. Okay, the first number didn't go up 1, but I think it's pretty obvious that 40 plus 9 is 49. So when it doesn't work, it's even easier. That's a pattern for the 9s. There's also a pattern in the 8s. Same pattern. Say 13 plus 8, 21. 17 plus 8, 25. Same sort of pattern. Down 2, up 1. Up 1, down 2. And so if I try to add any two numbers, any two small numbers, 7 plus 8, 15. 23 plus 8, 31. 45 plus 8, 53. The idea is to work these problems, drill these problems. Drill, drill, drill. And eventually, when you hear those two numbers, when you hear two small numbers, this really works for two-digit numbers, a two-digit number plus a one-digit number, or a one-digit number plus another one-digit number. Eventually, your mind doesn't really count the numbers. Your mind will just see the pattern and know it's up 1, down 2. Or in the case of the 9s, it's up 1, down 1. So you'll be able to calculate these numbers really quickly, and it'll help you with your multiplication. So that leads us to number 1. Master your multiplication tables 1 through 12. This is, in my opinion, the number 1 skill to help boost math grades. And there are patterns within the multiplication table 1 through 12. If I look at the 1s, 1 times 1, 1. 1 times 2, 2. All the way down. 6 times 1, 6. All the way down. So the pattern with the 1s, 1 times anything is itself. There are also patterns in the 8s and 9s in multiplication as well. I'm not going to go too much into the patterns in the 8s and the 9s. You can see it's still up 1, down 2. Up 1, down 2. Same pattern with multiplication as it is with addition. An easy tip to really get proficient at multiplication and addition without really trying hard, you can drill your multiplication table 1 through 12, and you can do those addition of those small numbers. You can drill those in your downtime. You don't have to take time away from anything else. Drill those when you're standing in line at the DMV. That's like 2-3 hours right there. Instead of just playing on your phone and looking around, take time out and drill these. You're at the doctor's office, you're in the passenger seat in your car, stuck in traffic. Rather than be frustrated, a better alternative is to take control of the situation and do something that benefits you. Do these. There are a number of patterns within this multiplication table. I did a full video on multiplication tables because I feel that it's that important. I'll put the link to it in the description. Please leave your questions or comments below. I want to know how this works for you. If this video was helpful to you at all, please take a few seconds to support the channel. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, have a nice day